I thought I was buying peace. Instead, I bought a war. For years, my wife and I dreamed of leaving the city. The constant traffic noise, sirens, shouting, and the suffocating feeling of apartment walls pressing in, it was slowly killing us. We wanted fresh air, a small garden, the sound of birds instead of engines. When we found the listing for a modest 2-story house in a quiet suburb, it felt like fate. The photos showed a well-kept lawn, a cozy porch, and big oak trees lining the street. The price was within reach, and during the viewing, we could hear nothing but wind in the leaves. "This is it," my wife whispered, smiling at me, and I believed her. The first week felt like a honeymoon. We unpacked, planted flowers, repainted the living room. Neighbors on one side brought us cookies. The mailman greeted us by name. But across the street, there was that house. Curtains always drawn, a dark shape occasionally peeking from behind them. No wave, no smile, just a long, cold stare.
The first incident was small, almost nothing. Loud laughter one night, music playing in the backyard until midnight. It's summer, I told myself. People celebrate. But 3 days later, it was back. This time louder, shouting, heavy thuds like someone slamming doors. I looked out at 1 a.m. and saw 3 men in the driveway, drinking and yelling. My wife asked me not to say anything. "We just moved in. Let's not start trouble." So I stayed quiet. A week later, I woke at 3:14 a.m. to bang, 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 metal against metal. I pulled the curtain back. The man from across the street, mid-40s, shaved head, wearing a stained tank top, was pounding on his own gate with his fist. 2 others joined, shouting into the dark. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was pure aggression. Something in my gut told me this wasn't random.
Within a month, things got worse. One morning, I found deep scratches across my car's hood, like someone had dragged a key from headlight to headlight. 2 days later, my back left tire was flat. Not ran over a nail flat, sliced, clean cut. We had no cameras yet, no proof, but my gut said exactly who did it. I went to the police. They listened, nodded, and handed me a form. "Without evidence, there's nothing we can do," the officer said. He didn't even leave his patrol car when I asked him to come look at the damage. Then came the trash, bags of it tossed over our fence, half-eaten food smeared on the driveway, a dead bird left by the gate. My wife was afraid to take out the garbage alone. The breaking point. The final straw came in late September. It was a Friday night. We were watching TV when the bass hit. Boom, boom, boom. Glass rattled in the windows. The music was coming from across the street. We closed the curtains and tried to ignore it, but it only got worse. By 1 a.m., there were at least 15 people in their yard, drunk shouting, screaming. At 3 a.m., someone threw a beer bottle. It shattered on our driveway. By 4 a.m., I was done. I stepped outside and shouted across the street, "Enough! Turn it down!" They laughed. Someone yelled back, "Don't like it? Move!" The next morning, my car windshield was smashed. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the kitchen table, thinking. Moving wasn't an option. We'd just bought the house. Confronting them directly? Useless. The police already proved they wouldn't help without evidence. So I made a plan. Step 1. Cameras. I installed motion-activated security cameras covering every inch of my property. Front yard, driveway, backyard, side alley. High resolution, night vision. Step 2, patience. I wouldn't react to anything. No yelling, no accusations, just recording. Within a week, I had my first video. One of them tossing an empty beer can over my fence, then another, 2 of them dragging a garbage bag into my yard at 2 a.m. A few days later, one of them scratching the side of my wife's car with a coin. Step 3, allies. I spoke to other neighbors quietly.
Two admitted they'd had similar problems: noise, trash, minor vandalism. They agreed to help. 3 weeks later, I had over 20 separate video clips, each showing clear violations: vandalism, trespassing, disturbing the peace. We filed a joint complaint. 3 households, multiple incidents, time-stamped HD footage. The police couldn't ignore it. Fines were issued. They had to appear in court. But I didn't stop there. I sent the footage to the local housing authority. Turns out part of their house was being illegally rented to tenants, without inspections, without permits. That triggered an investigation. Within 2 months, they were hit with more fines, forced to remove the illegal tenants, and warned that further violations could lead to property seizure.
By early winter, the party house was quiet. Too quiet. One cold January morning, I saw "for sale" sign go up in their yard. 2 months later, they were gone. For the first time since moving in, I sat on my porch with a cup of coffee and heard nothing. Just wind and birds. We moved here for peace, and I got it back. Not because they changed, but because I learned how to fight back the right way.
Betrayal cuts deep. Silence breaks the family. Subscribe. Don't face the dark alone.